Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another session of LAJA TV. LAJA TV is a special segment by LAJA, India's first forum that talks about women's development, women's self-empowerment, and women's growth. We are a forum that gives women a non-judgmental space to be themselves, to learn from others, to grow, and to become better versions of themselves, to be inspired and inspire others as they go forward. Laja TV, your host over here today is Vandana Joshil, and it gives me immense pleasure to first of all start off the segment by saying Happy Diwali and a very, very prosperous New Year to all of you out there. This Diwali has been unique, has been different. One, because we have not had the opportunity to burst crackers, because I think Diwali is synonymous with bursting crackers all across the country. So yes, we have not had the opportunity to burst crackers, but the light of the diyas, the smiles on our faces, the sweets in our kitchens remain as enduring as always. So with that, let me start off with some news and some views from across the country. The first news, as we all know, is the most amazing news that has made headlines world over. And I think for women and for women's development, this has been by far the biggest news that we can think of. And that is the news of Kamala Devi Harris being the vice president elect of United States. I think that is a massive thing for a country which has been led, which is the most powerful nation in the world and which has been led all along by men. And now we've come to a stage where we have a woman, playing a very important role. And this is especially exciting for for women across the world. She's, a first in many. She's the first uh, Black, the first, women with an Indian background. And there are so many amazing things when you talk about her and the kind of charisma that she holds. So she is the vice president elect of the United States. She's a member of the Democratic Party and is set to assume office on January 2021. uh, January 20 in 2021 alongside President-elect Joe Biden, and she's defeated the incumbent President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence in the 2020 elections. And I think the world over, everybody's been watching these elections with keen interest, and I know everybody's aware of all the developments that has happened over there. She will be the first she will be United States' first female vice president and the highest ranking female elected official in the US history. Harris will also be the first Asian American and the first African American vice president. What was more inspiring and what was really exciting for me as a woman was when I heard her speech, which, unlike any other speech by any world leaders, goes on to talk about women. And the most inspiring part of her speech, which I'm sure all of us have heard over and over again, but I'm going to repeat it again, was, I shall quote, while I may be the first woman in this office, I won't be the last. Because every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a country of possibilities. And to the children of my country, regardless of your gender, our country has sent you a clear message. Dream with ambition, lead with conviction, and see yourself in a way that others might not see you, simply because they have never seen it before. And I think this is a message that should go out to all women across the world, because unless we look at ourselves as people who can make a difference, unless we look at ourselves as individuals who matter, I don't think anybody is going to look at us ever with that kind of an eye again. So women out there, please look at yourself as people who might achieve something, dream with ambition, lead with conviction, and see yourself in a way that others might not see you, simply because they've never seen it before. So show them their new side. Going forward, the International Day of Rural Women was observed on 15th October. This is observed every year by the United Nations, and it is observed annually across the globe. The day is celebrated in view of empowering women community all over the world. The day emphasizes that the world's future stability and sustainability will be supported by rural girls and women. And for us at LAJA, this is interesting and this is inspiring because that is what we've been talking about. The need to empower women across segments, across rural and urban India. So this is a great thing for all of us. Going on to more news, this time from UP. Mother, wife, or daughter's names on home plaques in UP district. So as a mark of respect to the girl child, several homes in Muzaffarnagar district, which is known for its strong patriarchal system, have put up nameplates with their daughters' names written on them. Uh, More than 200 nameplates with names of daughters have been put up on the doors of the houses in various villages in these past few days. The campaign is still on, said District Probation Officer Mohammad Mustaqim. The initiative is a result of a campaign launched a few weeks ago by the Department of Women and Child Development. And I think this is an important move because it comes from a community, a village, a state where patriarchy and male dominance, male supremacy is much talked about. Women are generally undermined or overshadowed. So this is the first step, nonetheless, step in the right direction. So kudos to people in UP district. And another news, something that is not surprising, I guess, COVID hits women-led businesses the hard. But surviving is a skill that comes naturally to womenpreneurs or shepreneurs. Vinita Singh, CEO of Sugar Cosmetics, during a panel discussion at ET Women's Forum said, when women set up a business, they also try to solve the problems of gender disparity in workforce by hiring more women. During the pandemic, this ended up affecting their operations as women's responsibilities of domestic chores went up considerably. The lockdown during the initial period also wiped away the external support system of working women as schools and daycare centers were shut with no household help. Shweta Bhatia of 8 Rose Ventures stated that women entrepreneurs should go into the cockroach mode. Now, let's understand what this is. The cockroach mode invokes the extraordinary survival skill of a cockroach. Surviving is a skill that comes naturally to women founders, and women founders look at businesses not as their individual run businesses, but as support for the various women who help them out. Going forth, Mallika Srinivasan was awarded Businesswoman of the Year at ET Prime Women Leadership Awards 2020. At the second edition of the award, which was instituted to recognize top women leaders across different industries and functions. The finale underwent a digital transformation, as with most things that have gone digital this year after the pandemic started. All the 7 panel discussions were, as well as the winners awards, were presented virtually online. The highlight of the evening was Meenakshi Sarogi, Chief Mentor and former Managing Director, Balrampur Chini Mills, winning the Lifetime Achievement Award. The Global Indian Award went to Leena Nair, Chief HR Officer, Unilever. Ms. Nair urged all women leaders to believe in themselves. Don't wait for the storm to pass. Learn to dance in the rain. May our tribe increase, she said while accepting the award. How interesting and how wonderful is that? Yes, our tribe needs to increase. Our tribe of women entrepreneurs needs to grow. Why? Because we women have this inbuilt quality to not just survive, but to help other women who work with us also to survive. So that is the first segment of our news. And today we have a very, very special guest joining us. And let me just bring her on okay. So while I introduce her, yes, she's here on screen. Welcome, Belaa Sanghvi ji. Welcome to LAJA TV.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, let me wish you a very, very happy New Year and happy
Thank you.
Diwali.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure that the beginning of the year is happening today. I'm
Yes.
sorry the light is very dim here because there is no power here. I'm in a very, very remote area.
Oh, all right.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. You're there.
Okay. Yeah, there's no power here. So please excuse me if the light is very dim.
No, we can see you nice and clear. We can hear you loud and clear. Before we get into the questions, let me quickly introduce this wonderful lady who's sitting with me. She is the CEO and designer at the Purna Kala by Belaa Sanghvi. She's the director at Navanidhi Design Solutions Private Limited, and she's the owner operator at Avartan. So let me go on and tell you a little bit more about this wonderful lady. As a lifelong chronicle of textile art, and handicrafts in India with over 4 decades experience, her journey began at her father's factory that manufactured looms. From a very young age, she was introduced to weaving and operating different looms. Slowly, she also provided design inputs in the weaves of different fabrics. With her interaction with the artisans, she realized her twofold goal: to revive the traditional textiles and to bring in economic sustainability in the lives of artisans. Over the years, her work with artisans has allowed her to generate employment and to give them the freedom to enjoy the craft. She has also imparted several trainings on modern innovations that improve the quality of their workmanship. She has worked on several design projects that aim at business development or business re-engineering. Her design studio, Purna Kala by Belaa Sanghvi, Complete Art, has a vision to revive antique handloom saris. The word takes many forms in Sanskrit. It means knowledge, powers, arts, or levels of consciousness. Purna Kala or Complete Art aims to re-engineer handloom technology and design in handlooms and handicrafts to study ergonomics of weaving. She's also working on a book to document her research in various textile techniques in India. Wow, that was quite something. And I don't know whether you can see it, but today I'm wearing a balu chiri because I also believe that we should be promoting and encouraging all the handlooms and all our weavers out there. And I think some of the best works are made by these talented craftsmen with their talented arts. And unfortunately, we live in a world where anything which is expensive is generally said, "Arey, this is only this much work, what is the big deal?" But I think it's time that people like you and the others who are connoisseurs of this fine handloom work promote the kind of hard work that is being put into this. So yes, welcome once again. And let me go off right into the first question. What inspired you to establish Purna Kala and Studio Avartan? Would when you could have easily joined your family business, what is the vision behind your ventures?
When I started, there was no vision. I just wanted to work with Ashawal technique.
Okay.
It was such a rare technique that I had never seen something like that.
Okay.
So it was not as if I had planned that I will grow big in this work or something like that. But I had seen the Ashawal textiles as Mughal textiles in one of the museums in USA. And I had not seen something like this in India before. And me being part of the textile business, manufacturing business, textile, not manufacturing the textiles, but the weaving machinery business. I understood that this was a very, very rare and complex technique. So it fascinated me quite a lot. So when I came back from USA after my stint with Mr. Charles Rossellini, um, I realized that this was what was interesting me the most. My father's business was already there, and I was attending his office. It's just that his office was set so well, and it was a very, very well-oiled machine. So there was no creativity involved. It was
Okay.
just repeating what he was doing in a better way. That's
Huh.
it. So that didn't interest me too much. And this was fascinating me, going to the villages, not finding weavers initial stages, and then searching for the weavers. It was a very fascinating journey for me in the beginning. And the process is so slow that I am dyslexic basically. So I want everything fast, and I want everything yesterday.
Okay.
So when I saw that this was not going fast enough, I also started along with Asha Wal technique working on pattern patola.
Okay.
So it was just out of boredom, because once the loom starts, I didn't have a role to play.
Huh.
So when I adjusted the loom, we sat down together, we changed the whole format, we ensured that the quality was better, we ensured that the dyes was better, we ensured that the yarn was better. But when the actual weaving started, I didn't have a role to play as a designer.
Mm-hmm.
It was frustrating for me to just wait for a piece to get ready. And twiddle my toes was out of question. So I started working with pattern patrol. And that's
Okay.
how the journey, I mean, it was like simultaneously both started for me. So it was
Okay.
just out of sheer, what you call chance, that this started on its own. So for
Wow.
first 5 years, it was just ensuring that they have the markets, and uh, I got to work on that. That
Okay.
how to improve the textiles and how to change the format, or how to make it way better than what it was. That fascinated me. So that's how the journey started. So it was not planned that, oh, I'm going to be reviving and I'm going to be doing this, and it just happened.
Happy.
And slowly,
Wow.
slowly, I was getting bored also with pattern, that it takes time to weave. So in the meantime, what do I do? So I started every year working on one technique each initially.
Okay.
And once I had assistants, I started working on two techniques. So most of the years, since last 35 years, I have been working on two different techniques which required business re-engineering part. I get very frustrated when people say that the weaver is not earning enough. And I needed to make sure that the weaver earned enough, but also his support system earned enough, so that
True.
the whole environment, it's not just the weaver. Weaver is one part of the industry, but beyond the weaver, the lady who fills the tilli, the man who attaches the warp to the loom. There
Hmm.
are so many unsung heroes over here, and I wanted to create that environment for all of them to feel that we are also important, and they could also earn better living. I can't say an ideal situation. I would like them to earn a lot, but at least we have reached this place where they are acknowledged for their work, and
Hmm.
we pay them specially for that one. Otherwise, the wife of the weaver was very happy to fill the tilli. The son would attach the warp so that he would learn whenever the time came
Mm-hmm.
to weave.
Yeah.
So all this was happening without the payment. Now they're getting paid, and the professionals are there. We train them in such a way that they are able to empower themselves. It's not just about the money. Money will come. Money is not an issue.
Okay.
But it is the system which needs to be set.
Yes.
And also the market system needs to be properly set.
Yes.
And that's how slowly the vision developed, that this
True.
is what will work in long term. In the meantime, for the 11th 5-year plan, I was invited to speak on handloom and handicrafts
Okay.
as a keynote speaker at the
Wow.
planning commission.
Huh.
So I felt that, oh, I got a chance to change really matter.
Yes.
And at the end of the whole thing, I realized that no, it doesn't matter. It's just many a times it just stays as a theory. It's
Okay.
difficult to implement.
Implement it. Yes.
Yeah. So then I decided, rather than waiting, I mean, who is government? It's all of us.
Yes.
It's not somebody
Absolutely.
special that, oh, he will do it or she will do it. It's us.
Absolutely.
So then the whole vision got sharpened, and slowly it's still sharpening. It's not that it's over, but I think I'm getting the hang of it in such a way that I am able to change certain things for the weavers.
That's
And
amazing. This is a work in progress, and there's a lot more to be done. But what is amazing is that the ball has started rolling. You have set the ball rolling, and we can only look for momentum from here on. It is interesting that you spoke about getting the market ready. So what is really needed to make our artisans and craftsmen market ready? Is there a term which really can be used for them to say that, ha, bhai, abhi aap market ready ho? What is it that can be done for them?
I don't even bother about making them market ready.
Okay.
I bother about the whole system being market ready.
Yes.
I think many of my audiences would have heard this earlier also, that when you want to buy a Godrej lock, you don't go to Adi Godrej's house, ring the bell and have breakfast with him and then buy a lock.
Yes.
There is a system involved.
Yes.
And the system is that they will manufacture, that team will manufacture it. Adi Godrej himself does not manufacture it.
Yes.
The team manufactures it.
Yes.
And when the team manufactures it, there is a sales outlet out there.
Yes.
Now there are in between people who are working on that sales outlet. And the distribution channels, there are so many different people involved in that. There is a tax department which is separate. There is a marketing department that is separate. There is a design department that is separate. So the karigar is not the only one responsible for this. So that ecosystem needs to be established, which was earlier there. But everyone keep on saying that middleman ko hatao. Now, for any industry, middleman has an important role to play. But people think that it's only of exploitation. No, you have to make him more responsible, for sure. Not that give him free hand, but at the same time, make sure that the weaver. It is expected that the weaver will come to the city, sell his goods, and go back. He is supposed to ensure that the GST is paid on those goods. Then he is supposed to make sure that he is supposed to know his tradition and design development. Then he is supposed to know what Nita Ambani would like and sell to Nita Ambani that particular, a piece which the lifestyle of Nita Ambani will support. Now, how is that going to be possible for an individual?
Yes.
Source the raw material, make sure that the raw material of a particular quality. All this is so difficult for a weaver that people don't understand that it is the ecosystem that needs to be strengthened and not just one aspect of the ecosystem. Weaver is
Absolutely.
one
The
aspect.
weaver is one. It's like a well-oiled machine. So he's one lever of that well-oiled machine. We just
Exactly.
need to ensure that that machine is truly well-oiled to,
Very
you
true.
know, every process to go through. This is so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's also interesting because you know, off late you hear people talking about how important it is to empower the weaver and how important it is to give him strength and, you know, do away with the middleman. But like you said, you really can't do away with the middleman. He is there for a reason. What is needed is to educate him about his role and educate the others about what this man can do. That this is wonderful, and I'm glad that you brought this up because you know, it's good that people are waking up to the importance of textiles and handloom, but it is also important to
I'll give
know
you
that
I'll give
yes,
you why is it important for us to
yes,
support our textile.
yes,
Uh, there was a time in history
hmm,
where India was known as Sone ki Chidiya.
yes,
Now, what happened to that Sone ki Chidiya? Would they? We still have the skill set. We still have the weaves. We still have whatever it requires. It's just that because of this particular version of people saying middleman ko hatao, the whole system got disrupted.
true,
Now we need to re-establish the system. But why? First of all, handloom, handicrafts, and khadi is the largest employer of India
hmm,
after agriculture.
true,
That is number one. Second, and for me, it's more important, is India has the largest pool of handloom, handcrafted, and khadi skill sets.
okay,
Now, if you go, I mean, I'll give you an example that I have addressed many international conferences on behalf of India, but this was very eye-opening for me. In the initial stages, this was a UNESCO conference on brocades.
mm-hmm,
It was at Laos.
okay,
Vientiane was the place where the conference was happening.
mm-hmm,
And I went there. I had about 56 different kinds of brocades with me,
wow,
small pieces, but mainly 36 different kinds of brocade was on display when I was talking. Because of the luggage restrictions, I couldn't carry more.
yeah,
So, and when I saw everyone else's presentations, they had maybe one technique, maybe one and a half technique.
yes, okay, you've gone
At
on
the
mute, yeah, all
yeah,
right,
at the most two techniques. So when I saw that, it opened my eyes that oh, we have such a large variety, and we are not even
absolutely,
doing anything to protect it.
yes,
And
absolutely,
at that time, along with me, there was this lady who was the development commissioner at that time, who had just arrived as a development commissioner. And she was representing India at the World Crafts Council. And
okay,
I got a chance to guide her at that time to
wow,
how to present India in the international light. And that changed the whole game in terms of vision. And that that changed the whole version of UNESCO's perception of India, but also India's perception of
yes,
the role India can play in
India
this.
can play, absolutely,
For me, this was very inspiring. That if we have such a large pool, and then I researched even more, and the fashion industry at in that historical times before the British Raj, India was ruling
yeah,
as the fashion capital for the supplies of textile.
yes,
And
interesting,
there is a statistic around where today USA has 24% of the whole world's wealth, whereas at that time India had 28% of world's wealth.
Wow.
Now, can you see what kind of role India has played earlier?
Yes.
What happened?
What happened? Absolutely.
Besides British Raj, after British Raj also what has happened?
Yes.
We need to really, even then we have such a lot of skill sets left that we really need to now work on this and make sure that those skill sets are preserved. How do we preserve those skill sets? We have to give them markets.
Absolutely.
Without the market, they're not going to be able to, whether I like it or not, the commercialism is necessary. Commercialization is different.
Yes.
But adding commercial aspect to the revival process is extremely vital.
Very true.
That is what I believe that that is why we need to protect our weavers.
Yes, yes.
And when we look at it from the flip point, if we don't do that, what will happen? We will lose markets, international markets. One issue. होता है, international market ऊपर नीचे चलता है. But those weavers or those supporting the weavers, the whole ecosystem, when it will be disrupted to such a level where they don't have choices. Today also there are a lot of suicides, but they have not come into the society to disrupt the society.
Yes.
But it will disrupt the society if we don't protect them.
Very true.
I believe this.
No,
so,
it's very true, very true.
So this is the reason I believe we need to. These are just the three basic reasons. There are many other reasons why we need to protect it. But for me, these are most important three reasons that we need to revive.
That was truly insightful, and I know that anybody who's listening to us today will now look at this from a whole different perspective, a whole different viewpoint, because I think that is what is important. All along, everybody's been under the impression that we are doing something for the weaver community by buying handloom and handcrafted things, but you must
very important.
You must also understand that there is a whole other segment, also the supporting segment, which also needs our help. Thank you so much, Belaa. That was a very, very interesting conversation. Now, before we end this discussion with you, I have a rapid fire round with you. Okay, so I'll ask you, what is the one word you hear when you hear the word sustainability?
Long lasting.
Yes.
When I think basically we Indians are anyway, sustainable. I think every process of ours is sustainable. Say, for example, the sari that we wear. Once we finish wearing it, we pass it on to the next generation.
Yes.
And the next generation. After that is done, then we create the kantha godris out of it. Once that is also done, then we make sure that the pocha is made out of that.
Yes.
We as ourselves are sustainable.
Absolutely. So I guess the word sustainability comes from us, because we have used it and done to death with the term.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if I had to ask you your favorite weave and the favorite pattern, what would it be?
That's going to be very difficult. It's like you are asking me to choose between my kids.
I can understand.
Yeah, but actually, there are calculations involved. And I have always found the calculations very fascinating.
Okay.
So for me, I think what has stuck with me is calculations in brocades and calculations in the tie and dye, that is at the yarn stage, that is the original pattern patola. These two have been my most fascinating. Till today, I have not lost interest in them.
Wow.
Otherwise, within 5 minutes, if something is not interesting, I lose interest. Okay. And that's who I am. But since 40 years, if they have been able to hold my interest, there is something
There is
much more
something
to
to
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, that is really lovely. And if I had to ask you your favorite color, it would be
God, again, uh, every color I keep on shifting. For
okay.
one season, I will have one. Just now, it is lime green.
Okay. A
Just
lovely
now,
brown color.
it's fascinating me that there is a coolness and the warmth in the same color. So
Yes.
that is fascinating me quite a lot.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Belaji. This was, like I said, a very interesting, very insightful conversation. And I know this is the kind of conversation that I would love to have and, stretch for hours on end. But time is a constraint. So, with that, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us and enriching our the second episode of Lajja TV that we are having here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for giving me the opportunity to work. I mean, thank you for supporting this tribe. And one thing that I would like to say is, as a goodbye thing, Vandana ji, is you know, wear handloom, handicrafts, or khadi, whichever you prefer. But not that's not enough. Flaunt it on social media
Yes,
so that
absolutely.
it becomes a trend.
Yes.
I want everyone to appreciate the weaver or the spinner or the handcraftsman, so that
Absolutely.
all the karigars are supported and their whole ecosystem is supported.
Yes, absolutely. So, my viewers who are viewing us, please remember this, and let's flood the social media with our, let's wear and let's promote handcrafted handloom and khadi, because that is the least we can do. Thank you so much, Belaji. You have a wonderful year ahead.
You
All
too,
right.
you too.
Thank
All
you
the best.
so much.
Thank you, and
Thank
wish you
you, dear.
all the best with LAJA TV.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So moving on to other news, we also have two very interesting, teams supporting and advertising here today. We have revising and learning will never be boring for your child as he plays to start child's mission. Play to learn. He will be motivated and an involved student. Log in with www.starchild.in. Play to learn now. It's free. And if I can try and bring in my screen, I will share that with you. Yes, this is the play to learn, and when Star Child Education and Learning, uh, they've come up with a series of play to learn games and things to make learning interesting for your children. Going forth, the next uh, we have is Hema Bhatia, who is a tarot reader, and she is talking about okay, I'm sorry, there is a lot of, okay. Hema Bhatia, she's a tarot reader, and she says life is all about the next step. If you want to connect with her, the number is here, 916-7748443. So all you members, you can connect with her. And yes, before we end this session today, let me also talk about one last news, which I think is very, very important, and I think it is a step in the right direction. Assam has initiated the Atmanirbhar Assam scheme, aiming to empower economically disadvantaged women. It says Swanirbhar Nari Atmanirbhar Assam scheme is has been launched to create more than 3.72 lakh sustainable individuals and 822 community assets, benefiting around 4 lakh families in the first phase under the MGNREGA, with convergence of schemes of various state government departments and missions, including the Assam State Rural Livelihood Mission, Agriculture and horticulture, fishery, environment and forest, and handloom. This is very interesting, and I think, like I have said before, we need to start from the rural and move on to the urban, because I believe more or less urban women know how to fend for themselves, how to find their own footing and to make the step forward. But it is these rural women who really need our help. So with that, I know we have exceeded our time, but I hope it has been worthwhile, and I hope we have all taken away something from here today. So with that, I once again wish you all a very happy Diwali and a very, very prosperous new year. And I hope that this year brings with it not just love and, health and wealth, but most importantly, peace of mind for all of us out there, especially for the women, because we women are in charge of not just our lives, but also of the lives of our families. So, with that, I end today's session. Thank you. Good evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye bye. Take care.